Well, new information is being released in the case of a yoga instructor who was on the run for more than a month after police say she killed a professional cyclist, allegedly for going out with her boyfriend. Inside Edition reports Kaitlin Armstrong used her sister's passport to flee to Costa Rica, but that is where authorities caught up with and captured her. NewsNation's Ashleigh Banfield joining us live now. So, Ashleigh, how do you think Armstrong was able to get through customs and TSA with this fraudulent passport?
Well, if I were a betting man, and, you know, for the sake of right now, I will be, I think that she and her sister look alike. And so it is not implausible, Nichole, that she had that feeling that that might be the right path to take. Find my sister in upstate New York, hence the flight from Texas to New York, spend a few days in the New York area, hence the gap between one airport and another. Visit sister, either willingly get her passport or unwillingly steal it from her, which my guess would be her defense if she has to assert one in court. And then off she went, maybe to dye her hair and maybe get a nose job. So as you see on your screen, it's pretty unbelievable, the transformation in her looks. The picture on the right is her, and then the picture on the left is her after alleged plastic surgery and a haircut and a dye job. And she looks a lot more like her sister in the picture on the left.
Well, and actually, I want to talk about that, if we can leave these pictures up there, because she does look very different. But, sometimes in a mugshot, people or, something captured on surveillance video or something, they don't necessarily look the same, but it does appear that she may have altered her appearance.
It's weird, honestly, to me, because while the picture does make her look different, the hair is really what looks the most different. I think that she kind of looks similar. If you had her smiling with some nice makeup on the left-hand picture, she'd probably look pretty similar. So whatever nose job she got, it didn't do the trick. And not only that, she was tripped up not by her looks, but by the use of her name. The looks weren't really the issue here. Maybe she got as far as Costa Rica, but after that, it was just good old-fashioned gumshoe policing, local policing, I might add, in Costa Rica that caught her.
Yeah, which very impressive there. Now let's get back to her sister. We know that Kaitlin, visited her sister before she did, in fact, leave the country. Now, we don't know how she got her sister's passport, but what legal issues, if any, could her sister face in all of this?
Oh, oof. So aiding and abetting a fugitive is not a good idea, especially one like Kaitlin, who is now facing federal crimes. I think, like I said earlier, if I were a betting man, I think Kaitlin will assert the fact that my sister knew nothing about it. I went to visit her. I stole the passport. She didn't know. But I think there's going to be a lot more to it, right? Like, typically criminals, and in this situation, alleged criminals, they aren't as smart as they think they are. They don't realize how much of a digital footprint they leave behind, and they don't realize what a lot of law enforcement knows about these kinds of pathways. She ain't the first to have done this kind of thing if she did it. And so if she used, first of all, she'd have to use a credit card, right, to get the ticket, to get the airline ticket, she'd have to use a credit card. Whose was it? I don't think it was hers, because the minute she uses hers, that triggers I found you. So she'd have to have used a credit card, and maybe that's a sister's credit card as well. So there may be a recording. When you make these credit card purchases, you've heard that little voice saying, this call may be recorded for blah, blah, blah. There may be all sorts of ways to skin this cat that those two young women don't know.
All right, let's talk about the boyfriend in all of this, Ashleigh. She allegedly killed this woman for going out with her boyfriend, but we really haven't heard much from him. There was this more than month-long manhunt. What role could he play in the next phase of this case?
I see him as a real victim in all of this because he clearly liked both women a lot. And one of them is dead in a hideous fashion, and the other one is likely to be locked up for the rest of her life if she doesn't get the death penalty, because that's what happens in Texas. So I don't see him as anybody who has exposure here, but I do see him as someone who could be very valuable just in terms of mindset and, pre-planning if there was such a thing, because, there's murder and then there's first-degree intentional murder that yields a death penalty. And some of those things can be mitigated by your behaviors before the fact. I don't think things are going to go well for Kaitlin Armstrong. I'm not going to lie. I think the things that I have seen just this far, and I know it's the tip of the iceberg, point to a premeditated murder with consciousness of guilt and flight, and then a whole slew of federal crimes and using a passport to skip the country, and maybe even more. So I think at the very minimal here, Nichole, and I'm not going to lie, I think she's facing 20 years just for the passport problems, and that's federal.
Right.
You do all of your time, just about all your time when it's federal.
And we know, of course, innocent until proven guilty, but we know there's a victim's family here that has to be feeling quite relieved. So, all right, Ashleigh Banfield, we appreciate your time. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.